Hi everyone, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks, and today I'm celebrating 12 years since I first went live. It's absolutely baffling to me that still 12 years later Uncle QuickyBaby is creating content on that darn tank game. And today for YouTube I decided what better than to feature one of the two original tier 10 heavy tanks in the game. The IS-7 is one of them, and the Mouse. Those were the two original vehicles when the game was first released in the Russian region. Of course, by the time we got it half a year later on the EU, there was also the strong T-30 inside the game. Right, now a tier 9 tank destroyer. But I think the IS-7 has held up a lot better than those two tanks. For reasons like that. Set this vehicle up like an idiot, and this idiotic tank just seems to absolutely excel. We're packing a spole liner to reduce the amount that our crew gets damaged, which means that we can in turn take a speed governor instead of taking a med kit on the vehicle, which increases our engine power by 10% whenever we use it. I elected to put the Bond turbo on this vehicle, and considering this was me christening the IS-7, able to go at like 70 kilometers an hour pretty much for the first time with the Bond turbo, pushing it up a notch, I decided to also put a turbo charge extra for that directive. Now those directives, I don't use them in every game because they cost bonds, or I think actually there's no way to actually purchase them for bonds. I think you can only get them from events, and so unless I'm super try-hard sweaty, I'm not going to be putting them on my vehicles. But I'm glad I did here, as we just gave that Centurion Action 10 a 1065 damage ram there. That was absolutely brutal. That poor guy got finished off, and so did the WZ-1321. What's mad about this tank is that even if you don't take things like a gun rammer, vents, vert stabs, and just decide to invest everything into the speed of this vehicle, it allows it to get into positions that heavy tanks are not intended. And you can take ultimate hold down positions like this, just basically dominate the field, extend your team's view range, harass them, and as we're going to see later on in this replay, make absolutely wild fun plays. And sometimes that is what World of Tanks is all about. And the IS-7, still in 2024, is probably the most fun heavy for me to play, if you do manage to set it up like this. As you know what the bizarre thing is? I still think I average about 65% wins playing this tank solo, playing in this idiotic fashion. I probably end up getting a much better win rate playing this tank like an idiot than I do probably sweating in my more competitive vehicles, like the BZ-75, for example. Although the BZ-75 has been doing very well in the free-to-play account. So now that the FE405 is on reload, I decided, why don't we just take the IS-7 on a sightseeing tour here around on the Runeberg map. And oh, hello 50B, how are you doing? Unfortunately, the 50B is a heavy tank. It weighs 60 or maybe 65 tons, so that's also a very heavy vehicle. And so ramming that, well, I definitely do a lot better. Ramming them for 561 and taking 114 in return, I managed to finish them off. And suddenly, a game where we are down on hit points, at least until the 780 in front of me gets ammo-racked. In a game that we were down on hit points, even though we'd done 4,500 damage in the first 3.5 minutes of this battle. We created the chaos which allowed our team to push through that flank before possibly the enemy team is going to be able to deal with the east, because they're just starting to work their way through, and this FE405, they might be good for their ambush shots, but are they that good against IS-7 frontal armor? No, 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 no. So we're going to ram them for 400 damage, we're one shy. Finish them off with an HE shell, just in case we somehow didn't ram them. But man, this is the daddy of rams. And look at the damage that we took at the top of your screen. 3. We took 3 for ramming that tier 10 tank destroyer that, I don't know, probably weighs about 50 tons or so. That's the beauty of the spole liner on this vehicle, that you can make these just ridiculous ramming plays. And look at the chip damage. We did 45 to the 780, 79 to the 780, 561 to the 50B, 1,000 to the Centurion Action 10. I don't know about you, I'm not very good at math, but I think that's probably about like 1,000 ramming damage that we've done. Sorry, 2,000 ramming damage that we have done this game. And look how close it is. We are still down on hit points. 2,000 of the 5,000 damage that we've dealt this game purely from ramming. Now, do you think if I'd taken a gun rammer, or if I'd taken like some vents or some vert stabs, well, maybe if I aimed a little better, I'd hit that 13105. But if I took the more competitive modules, at least what you think would be more competitive on the majority of tanks, do you think they would have really added up to putting 4 extra shots in this game? I don't think so. Maybe a couple of extra shots. With the better gun handling, better accuracy, definitely the better rate of fire, could have played in a slightly different way. But when your goal is to take the most important locations, dominate them, win a 1v1 with throwing your weight around against whatever it might be. And we've got to be careful here, man. Driving in front of a Foch 155, even if they're stunned, that doesn't make me feel very confident. I'm being a little bit cheeky here. I think I'm trying to push the tempo a little bit too much. And I probably should have just sat and chilled, considering that my team is just working that cap circle. But oh, baby, an extra 962 spotting. Going to try and blind fire the Foch 155. They ricochet. I decide to say, let the chips fall where they may. One of my players decides to reset the cap circle, but 2 players remain. And I'm just going to get forwards, see what we can catch, get some more spotting on the Leopard, raise the gun, go for this Leopard in front of me. Oh, dear. Would have loved to have had the vert stabs in there. And that's all she wrote for the IS-7. This was, in this like 6 minute round, 10,300 combined and 2 kills in what is just an absolute mad lad of a game. We won a duel against the Centurion Action 10, who, as you can see, the Centurion Action 10, they are not a bad player. They've managed to do top damage in their tier 9 tank in some kind of event, and playing with another player who's completed every single one of the first season of personal missions with honors, so they're clearly a little bit sweaty. Just to absolutely eviscerate them at the start of the game, take practically no damage from the Centurion Action 10 in return, to use that position from having the extra speed on the IS-7 to dominate the field, and then to be able to just make a crazy play that, you know what, sometimes it's not going to work out, but at least in this time, it was really fun in the town to finish it off as well, protecting my team, taking the cap circle. This is what World of Tanks is all about, and this is what the IS-7 is all about. And 12 years after I started creating content on this game, this tank still gets my blood going. And it's kind of funny how I'm going full circle in a way, right? Started playing tanks like this. Started playing tanks like the E100 that was added into the game, I believe, in 2011, before I started making content. And now I'm kind of going back to my roots in a way with a vehicle like this. But let's be honest, for very, very, very different reasons. And that is that Wargaming have just made this thing absolutely mad with all of the extra equipment, with all of the field mods they've added. And, you know, for all of the hate that we give Wargaming for how they changed the game with adding in new features and making the game faster and so on and so forth, I guess I can't have it both ways, right? When I'm bombing it around in the original tier 10 heavy tank at 70 kilometers an hour in 2024. And so I'd like to take this moment to thank each and every one of you who have been with me on this crazy journey of content creation. I still absolutely love making YouTube videos, and I'm flattered that there's still at least tens, if not like 100,000 of you out there that tune in regularly. Thank you very much for making my gaming experience just so epic for over a decade. I'm eternally thankful, and I don't see the end in sight anytime soon. So, ladies and gents, boys and girls, today I'm going to be celebrating by live streaming all day, playing my most played tanks for 12 hours straight. So come along right now on Twitch and you'll see the tanks that made QuickyBaby QuickyBaby. And also, it's my pleasure that Wargaming is supporting this anniversary by allowing you to be able to get some really cool rewards, such as 200% boosters, pudding and tea, QB decals, QB emblems. So if you want to come and have this handsome fellow on a tank, then tune in right now on twitch.tv/QuickyBaby, claim the loot, and see me play my most played tanks of all time. So really looking forward to seeing you all live right now. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.